This video contains disturbing and violent content. Viewer discretion advised.
For the order! Kill them all!
Chivalry Medieval Warfare is an online multiplayer game with just the slightest hint of a backstory. You play as either the Blue Agatha Knights or the Red Mason Order, fighting on large scale maps to win an objective. This is a different take to most first person shooters since team damage is always on, and most of the weaponry is up close melee combat in a medieval style setting. So here is the top 5 reasons why I enjoyed Chivalry Medieval Warfare. Gameplay. There are 6 different game modes in Chivalry: Team Objective, Team Deathmatch, Free For All, As Team Standing, Horde, and King of the Hill. One of the most popular modes in Chivalry is Team Objective. In Team Objective you'll be playing as the attacking or defending team, and you need to try and accomplish your team's objective, be it burning and pillaging a village, defending your castle, pushing a cart, destroying a wall or door, capturing objective, or killing a general. Basic swings, jabs and overhead attacks are used with the left mouse button and the mouse wheel, while blocking is used with the right mouse button. Timing plays a massive part in combat, and that's what separates this game from other first person shooters. Waiting for an opponent to swing or make a mistake before attacking may just give you the edge. When an opponent swings at you and the attack misses or it's parried, there's a brief period of time where they'll be defenseless. This is the best opportunity to strike. The more you get kills and experience with each class and weapon, the more weapons and equipment you can unlock and level up. Glitches. Chivalry Medieval Warfare isn't perfect. Far from it. You'll see many strange glitches in this game, some of them game breaking and some of them hilarious. Most of the environment you'll get stuck on, and more often than not some teammate will help you out. Any player hit by a ballista ends up ragdolling like crazy. Sometimes bodies will stretch or appear in the air, the animation looks really outdated and wonky, which is especially noticeable when players interact with some of the heavy machinery. There's also frame drops aplenty, so your best solution is to play the game at the lowest graphical setting, physics to low and ragdolls to minimum. This is to avoid any disruption and annoyances. This is a niggling problem that happens constantly, even with people playing on a beefed up computer and maxed out settings. The developers are hard at work on a new game called Anarchy, and sadly it looks like they abandoned any patches to this game. Classes. Chivalry allows you to customize your character with a primary weapon, secondary weapon and special weapon, all of which are relative to 4 different classes: Archer, Man-at-Arms, Vanguard and Knight. Archers are long distance attackers and carry weapons such as bows, crossbows and javelins. They have the least amount of health, and their melee weapons have to deal more damage to kill an opponent. Javelins and crossbows do heavy damage, and a headshot from a warbow is enough to guarantee an instant kill. The Man-at-Arms rely on evasion and speed and do damage and confusion with a melee weapon and shield. Man-at-Arms are usually equipped with axes, hammers, cudgels and short swords. They are usually used for quick hits and retreating. Man-at-Arms can also equip shields and a firebomb used for engulfing other players and terrain. The Vanguard offers power and speed and are usually used to charge into the battlefield. Vanguards also have a charge attack which does extreme damage. Vanguards are equipped with claymores, spears, lances and axes. They can also use throwing axes and smoke bombs as a third attack. The Knights are more durable and can dish out monster damage to opponents. Their slow speed makes them susceptible to faster enemies and ranged weapons. Knights are equipped with heavy weapons such as battle axes, hammers, flails, shields and claymores. Knights have the most health but the slowest speed, and are usually used to protect archers or other important objectives. Sound design. The sound is really strong in a game like this. There's a wonderful attention to detail in the game. All clashing swords and weapons are other players in the environment battling each other. Gore sounds nasty, and the voice acting, while cheesy, sets the theme and style. A player will be aware of a ballista bolt or arrow narrowly missing them by the wind sound it makes as it passes. The roaring sound of a catapult projectile is enough for a player to seek cover or avoid immediate death. The voices, weapons and clashes sound realistic, and even surpasses some of the sound design found today in recent games. The battle shouts during the game are great. Players are given the option to use voice commands during the game, and once everyone starts charging, shouting and screaming at the top of their lungs, it's hard to be overly critical of the voice acting. The game really does a great job at making it feel like you're actually on a battlefield. Weapons. Unlike other first-person shooter games, Chivalry has many different weapons from the medieval era. You get battle axes, swords, daggers, maces, hammers, bow and arrows, spears, flails, crossbows and javelins. Each weapon has pros and cons, and you'll need to balance that with how you approach your enemy. Daggers and short swords may be ideal when taking advantage of slower moving enemies, while battle axes, hammers and claymores would be more suitable for damaging multiple enemies. Spears and poles are ideal for hitting and lunging at opponents from safer distances. The bow and javelins are great for taking long to medium range enemies, and with fire bombs and smoke pots it helps your team to coordinate plans and tactics. The more kills and points you earn with each weapon, the more weapons you can unlock for that specific tier. Ultimately the weapons get more stronger, so you can experiment around with some and find a favourite in no time. Around the environment you will find weapons such as catapults, oil pots and ballistas. These can be used on enemies to help your team with an objective. Team damage is also a big thing in this game, so if you go ahead and swinging wildly, you're guaranteed to probably get kicked from the game and causing a lot of team damage. Despite its overall glitchy presentation and buggy frame rate, the game is highly fun in short doses. Unfortunately it looks like the game will never be patched, but it's far more playable on the PC, as opposed to the console ports.